me ask you this. You looking for a $100,000 wedding?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
I have high standards, and I feel like I shouldn't lower them just because.
I have high standards, too. I went to a justice of the peace.
Okay.
Married 32 years. The biggest weddings are the shortest marriages, I
Very
swear.
true.
You know,
Very
Kim
true.
Kardashian, that dude, 72 days. Took her longer to pick out the dress than it did to be married to her. You know what I mean? You look at, that's just a party. You have that party when, like on your 25th wedding anniversary, then you could spend that kind of money. $100,000, you're never gonna get married, honey. You know
Never.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What? That's the wrong goal. The goal is to have him like for 40 years,
Yeah.
not to have one party.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Profit Eneh, a relationship coach here. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. Man, this is crazy. $100,000 wedding. Wow, that's like so many people's, like, how many years savings? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years savings. How much are people even making that you're planning $100,000 wedding? Like, I read this story the other day. I think there was a man that spent how much? I think it was about 800 or even 500,000 for a wedding, and I think he did this in 2014 or 2013, and the man is just paying off the loan in 2024. Like, super crazy. Like, when I heard it, I was like, wow. Like, the way people borrow to do a wedding, to celebrate, like, to invite people that don't really care so much about you, or to impress people that don't even care about you, it's wild. It's crazy. I mean, there are so many people, they actually don't want to be married. They just want to, they like the idea of marriage. They like the idea of wedding. They like the whole shenanigans, or how do they call it, that comes with that occasion, the whole era and all those stuff that comes with those things. But then when it gets into the real thing, the marriage itself, they have no clue. There are some people, if you ask them, how many books have you read for marriage? None. Like zero, nada. They have not read any book. Who do you listen to when it comes to, like, marriages, relationship, that you know that have healthy principles? None. They don't have any. Did you go for premarital counseling? Have you spoken to any counselor, any relationship coach, or any pastor or whatever to help you guys walk through whatever that might bring up issues in the future? No, they have not. But then they will go ahead and organize the most expensive wedding. They will demand for the most expensive ring. They will demand for the most expensive things in their wedding. But they have not done the things that actually keep people married. Yes, that's true. What she said is true. There are a lot of, like, the biggest wedding, the most expensive wedding. Usually they don't last because those people, they just prioritize the whole celebration and not the marriage itself. And I mean, I say this to guys a lot. See, make sure that, okay, let me put it this way. We all know that to a greater extent, the wedding, the celebration is primarily for women. We know that the ones that carry it in their head, like, it's, in this case, you can see she's the one demanding $100,000 wedding. They are the one that carry it in their head. But guys, listen up. You don't have to give her Cinderella dream wedding if you can't afford it. If you can afford it and you have what it takes, please go ahead and do what you gotta do if that's what you want to do. If you can afford it, just go ahead, but don't borrow to afford it. But if you have the cash to do it, go ahead and do it. But if you can't do it, please don't go and give her that kind of wedding that she has been dreaming about since she was a kid, and you now have to borrow to do it. Please don't do it. Plan your budgets. Plan your budget. This is how much I have brought out that we will get married with. And if she can't fit into that budget, please suspend that wedding. I'm not saying call off your relationship, but I know that some people will call it off, because if a lady is more putting more energy on putting more priority to the wedding, the event and everything, more than actually being with you, then I'm already seeing red flags everywhere that you probably are trying to play blind to. But I'm not saying call off your wedding or your marriage or break up. But if she cannot fit in her wedding to your budget, and if she's not even willing to contribute towards that, please stay within your budget. If she can't do it, then pause the wedding, suspend it. Everybody should go home till you have that money, or till you receive sense, or till she receives sense, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. But please and please and please, never borrow to get married. Never go over your budget to get married. The truth is that a serious lady, a lady who knows her worth, a lady who actually understands what marriage is all about. Not these ones that have high standards for people's money, not high standards for their money. They have high standards for people's money. A lady that understands what it means to run a family, to run a home, to actually provide, how to manage money, how to budget and not live in debt. Those ladies will even be the ones to tell you, please don't even spend 5K on my wedding engagement ring or whatever. Please buy the good one that is affordable. Let's plan this marriage around affordable things, and then let's use whatever that is left and buy a house. They are thinking about investment, buying a house, buying something that will bring money in the future or even give you peace in the future, not events that you throw in a day and after that very day everybody forgets about it. See, no matter how extravagant your wedding is, or no matter how poor your wedding is, just give people 2 weeks. They will forget it. They will move on to their next victim or their next celebrity or whoever. So even if you have the best wedding today, in 2 weeks' time, we'll all forget about it. In 2 weeks' time, we'll move on. Even if it's the worst wedding, in 2 weeks' time, we'll forget about it. Nobody will even really remember it. The only thing I subscribe so much when it comes to weddings is that ensure that the only place you actually bring out the money to actually spend very well is when it comes to your videographer or photographer, because those are like the things you go forward with. Like those are things you can bring up tomorrow and look at and feel happy. So even if you don't want to buy small cake, buy the small cake, rent a small hall, invite few friends, borrow, rent a wedding gown, rent a tuxedo if you have to. You don't really have to buy all this crazy stuff. Just do anything you can within your budget and get a good photographer to take pictures on that very day, and you will be very happy. Very, very happy. But if you have the money, like I said, if you have the money to do the whole crazy thing, do the whole crazy thing. But please, if you don't, cut your budget, plan it and do it. If she's not willing to get within that budget, please suspend the wedding. Everybody will be happy. I don't know. She says she has standards. She has high standards. Whenever I hear this thing, it just annoys me because you're having high standards on somebody else's money, not the money you make. I kind of start to think that some of the ladies that make this weird demand, they don't actually make that money. Because if they actually make that kind of money, they will know what people go through to make that kind of money. There are a lot of people in America that make $100 a year, $100,000 a year, but they are over $200,000 in debt, student loan, car loan, house, mortgage, and all those stuff. They are struggling, but they make a lot of money. They are struggling, but here you are looking for 100,000 and you really want that guy to borrow it because that guy does. Sorry, I'm not no shade, but the way that guy responded in that video, it shows that he doesn't even have that money. But anyway, those of you that like the idea of marriage but are not really willing to actually get married to the person, you people need help.
Man can't spend $75 or $100 on a first date. He just shouldn't be dating.
A person shouldn't feel entitled to have a gentleman spend a certain amount of money on them just to prove that they're interested. But I'm sure there's more to this.
If a man wants to take you on a walk or go for coffee on the first date, say no thanks and move on.
Okay.
And listening to this type of advice is a good way to be saying in a few years, where are all those good men at?
If you're a woman and you're not yet 20 or you're in your early 20s right now, you are setting the dating standard.
And it's setting a standard that says that a lot of the women out there that listen to this type of advice are only after a man's money.
Yeah,
Do you think the guy that spends $4 on you for the first date for a coffee or for a cookie is going to be an overflowing fountain of effort and enthusiasm for you moving forward?
And who's to say he won't? Actually, it says a lot more about a guy that is careful with his money rather than someone who just flings it around hoping to impress someone. But what do I know?
And what do women commonly do to get ready for a first date?
Oh, and here
we go.
Again.
New outfit, nails done, hair done, maybe buy some new makeup or perfume or jewelry.
Interesting.
So what that's saying is, I guess some women really only do that for the men, and not for themselves, as many
like
would
they
like
say.
to have us believe.
Jesse, it's not about the money. On the first few dates it is. On every date moving forward it is.
And there we have it.
Finally, she said
I guess really nothing more need be said here.
it's about the money.
So if you're
I mean, the way some women come to the internet to just confirm everything that most people say is still crazy. Like you see, you deny, but then you come out and then say these kind of things. It shows you that the truth is still the truth, no matter what. There are a lot. I know not all, not all. I will keep acknowledging it. Not all. There are so many of them. There are some of them. Which one do we want to go with? We can go with anyone. But then there are women out there who are dating men for their money. Like they are hungry. They're hungry. Sometimes, even recently, these days, when I see when I see some people and the way they make, like they put, I like checking out restaurants. I like this. I'm like, why are you putting this kind of thing? Well, anyway, it's you. You can do it. But like when we talk about these things, it's so weird to me that you keep saying it's not about the money, but you are so much focused on the money. If it's not about the money, then what stops you from meeting a guy and then having a conversation? I think most women don't really care. In this case, some women, I think I should be using the word some. I think some women don't really care about men that much. They just want to be fed. They just want to be taken care of, not necessarily do anything for that guy. Because why would you want a guy that knows you from nowhere? Like, you don't have any relationship with this guy. You don't have any, like, both of you don't have anything yet. You are barely just trying to get to know yourself, and then he's spending $100 on you on the first date. Like, why is that something that you think should happen? I'm not saying a guy shouldn't, right? A guy could. But then I feel like when it becomes an entitlement, when it becomes a requirement, it becomes very crazy. Because I believe that the first date should be something very light, something that allows both of you feel comfortable. Just relax, get to know yourself, and have conversation. Today it's no longer about the conversation. It's no longer about the conversation. It's about the food. People care more about the food, about the location, about the environment, more than they care about the person that they want to meet. And then when you now talk, they say women make up, they wear. Don't make up. If that's the case, come with your natural face. Just wear your clothes just like you would have worn your clothes if you are going to church or if you are going to just visit a friend. Dress that way and come out. It's okay. Personally, me, I don't mind. I'm not expecting you to dress like you are going to a wedding or something. Just look nice. And the guy is coming out too. He's going to be looking nice too. So he's going to be spending on himself too, if that's the case. When they say, you say it's your time, you are making time. Is he not making time? Does that even make any sense in any way? The whole point of this dating stuff or even this first date stuff is all about being open to come meet somebody new that you hope that something can work out for both of you. Because at the end of the day, if the relationship works out, who gains? Is it the guy that gains? Or is it you that gain? Both of you gain at the end of the day. So why do you have to make it look like it's the guy that is gaining or the guy that is being privileged? Or how do you even put it? For meeting you and getting to know you. Well, that's how some people remain single. That's how some people never get to meet good people, or because the bad ones, the bad guys, the guys that just want to sleep with you, they will throw out those money there. They will bring out 200, 500 on a first date, and they'll make you feel good because they know that that's what you're after. Then when they are done, they will now make their own requirements, sleeping with them. And what do? You come out again and make another video for us how the guy wants to sleep with you on the first date. Isn't that just weird and crazy?
$50,000 don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
But why not?
Interesting.
You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
How much exactly can it cost?
Everything costs. You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, Shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She's gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date.
So they're saying that approximately 18% of the United States population shouldn't date. Right.
And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make $50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash.
I wonder if that includes both men and women.
How much does it even
They
take
didn't
to
specify.
date?
Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money.
Is it just me, or is this sounding like it's only applying to men?
Guys.
And she doesn't have that expectation, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're gonna want to run. Because she doesn't stretch you, she doesn't make you the man that you need to become. She allows you to be the stagnant dude in the same jeans for days. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder, how much money does a woman actually have to make a year in order to be able to date? Because it's
Zero.
sounding like they're expecting men to pay for absolutely everything, doesn't it?
That's the point.
Double standards are wonderful, aren't they?
But I'm kind of just like wondering, like if you're in a relationship per se, like let's say you're dating somebody. I get the idea of going on dates, having time together, and all those kind of stuff. But is this something that you have to really like do every single month? Like you buy stuff for them every single month, like you spend on them so much every single month. Like I'm just trying to like understand the whole idea of it. And whenever we're talking about this thing, it's like you saw the lady say, it's more of like the guy has to do this. So a lady doesn't even need to make anything to be with a guy. Like make it make sense. And let's say for instance, yeah, she doesn't have to make anything. Let's just go with the idea. Doesn't that mean that you should be even humble enough to like be able to grow with this man wherever he is? Like when ladies that make so much money, like let's say ladies that make so much money are like having this conversation of how much a guy should make or not. I understand. I try to understand those version. Like she's already making so much money, so she probably wants a guy within that caliber or that category. I can't beat you for wanting what you want, but it's usually the ones that probably don't necessarily have anything when they start making those higher demands too. It's just weird in a way because you can't even do it for yourself. Then you see somebody who can even do it for you a little bit, and you're still complaining. Isn't that weird? I mean, $50,000 a year is more of like an average, like is within that, is a little bit above the average, like average Americans making a year. So that means most people in America shouldn't date. But here's the thing again, like I say, some of these things people just get on podcast and say some things that they don't even understand. They can't, like, they don't put their thoughts together before even saying it. Because if you like, recently I've been watching this Dave Ramsey show, and I've come to see that like there are a lot of people like in marriage, they're like in debt. Both of them are combining finances, trying to find a way out. And I think the next video I'll be making, I think, or maybe next or next video, but just watch out. If you're not followed me, follow me yet, because I'll be dropping a video where it's all about how much people are making in a year, so that you will see like reality versus social media. Sometimes social media is just, it makes you think crazy things. It makes you think that you are settling, because that's what they try to make you sell to you, that you are settling. But the truth, in reality, that's not how it happens. Like, a lot of women make more than their husband. A lot of women make more than their boyfriends, and they are living happy. But then you see social media, those ones, they will climb podcasts and they will say those things, and because of bad news spread so fast, it spreads everywhere. Then you start thinking that's reality. That's not reality. If you're making 50,000, you're making so much money. It's not. It might not be so much. It might not be so much. But then you're somewhere. You're not broke, except you're in debt. But then you can get by. You can get by. That's the truth. The goal is to grow, to make more. But then we know that we are in a world where economy shifts up, downs, right, center. Things can throw people off, and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, my end advice from this episode is that please, please, and please, don't allow social media make you think that you're settling. There's a lot of people on social media that tolerate what they preach against. Like, they'll tell you don't do this, but behind closed doors, they are doing exactly those things. Like, they're earning more than their guy, but they'll come out and say all these things. Like, some of them are way single. More like, the reason why they are single is because of the things they are saying, but then they'll keep pushing it on other people, because they say misery loves company. So they want other people to get into that situation they are. So please be very, very careful. If a guy wants to take you out on a date, please ensure that you are interested in that guy. That's the first thing, that you want to meet that guy. You want to have a conversation with that guy, not about the food. You can eat food later. Food should be an addition. The primary goal is to have conversation. That's the primary goal while you're going there. It's not about the food. If the food is the main thing, then you'll have a very, very wrong priority. If you're more focused about the environment or the location, then you have a weird, annoying priority list because that will land you in problem. So ensure that whatever you're doing, whatever it is, whether you are planning your wedding, whether you are taking a girl out on a date, whether she's expecting you to earn 100,000 a year, ensure that you are working with your budget. Don't go into debt or don't go broke because of a woman, please. And ladies, try as much as possible to understand. At least I know that the ones that are making money, the ones that have worked for their money, the ones that understand reality, are not making this weird demands from men. So men, women, stop making weird demands from each other. That's all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please do well to subscribe, like this video, share, so that others will get to learn and understand that social media and reality, they can be intertwined, but they are different. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Check out these 2 videos and make sure you watch them. All right, bye.